In case you bronzexuals don't know by now, LeBron has never been the face of the NBA, although people want to claim he's the face of the NBA. When there's a fellow in Oakland, California that kind of snatched the mantle from Kobe by hitting a three in his face, what impact has LeBron James had on the NBA? I'll answer that for you. Nothing.
Jabroni, Jabroni.
Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning.
I have my partner with me. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You got off to a late start this morning, I think.
Yeah, technical difficulties all over the place.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm working in a very small space, so I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. So the mics didn't want to work, and then
oh Lord,
climbing and then climbing further into it, then my computer wanted to restart and reboot. And once that happened, then it decided not to read the Wi-Fi. So yeah, I had to deal with that for like 15, almost 20 minutes.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, but all is well, all is fixed. I'm here.
And thanks for the bumps.
Oh, no problem.
They were fantastic. The music you had for the Joel Embiid bump, I got to have it because I think I'll make that after I'm home. I think I'll make that our opening music.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think I'll put that in the opening.
Okay.
And Sick Diggy bears you greetings.
Yeah.
Is this a Ray Cole? Is it Q the D12? Man.
Yeah, stuff can happen. You exactly right, Sick. How you doing,
You
bro?
got that right. Now that my partner is here, let's see. Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving. Hell, you can throw Russell Westbrook in this. And of course, James Harden and LBJ. Here's the riddle. What do all of those players have in common? I'll answer that for you with 2 words.
Tone deaf.
I've seen that before.
Oh, people have asked me, present company not included because he already knows, why do you think those great players, and I put the word great in quotes, are tone deaf? I'm going to let my partner have the floor first because if I go first, 15 minutes will go by. Please go first, Cole.
It just seems to me that these individuals can think they can get by with little, and they can do, definitely in Ben Simmons' case, the bare minimum, and in Kyrie's case, part-time minimum. And this seems to be the happenstance of today's athlete. And then and then these organizations for which they play, the fan base and for whom watches them, and the analysts like you and I, to pontificate upon what they do, we're left to find justification for it all and try to piecemeal this all together and say, well, this is how the millennials think, or this is a new breed of athlete, or this is just a newfangled way at how athleticism is supposed to go down. And
who lied?
All of that's a bunch of
Okay,
junk.
it's bullshit, is what it is. Who lied? Who lied when it comes to this? Good buddy Remy Yates, at least you guys
What's
are
up,
on
Remy?
now. I got off work, so I get to enjoy the show. Yes, you do. And oh, what a quote. So they are athletic minimalists? Yeah, basically.
At least that's how I see it, man. It's just
They're athletic minimum. They're athletic. They want to get by on doing the bare minimum, and you're paid not to do the bare minimum,
no,
which questions a lot of these. I'm staying in the NBA because
yeah,
this is where it's most prevalent
right.
with the players that I've named. It just seems like they can do what they want to do off the floor and not do what they need to do on it.
And you get justification for it. For example, look at Kyrie. He has a 50-point game one week and he has a 60-point game another week. And people are calling him a magician and an artist. But
I'll talk about that later.
But you still have to deal with this guy. I'm trying to say this in a way where I do not get heated when I say it.
No, don't do that. Just let it rip.
You're talking about a guy who, on his own accord, decides to simply throw the middle finger at his team and say, well, I know you all are all for one. I'm all for me. And I'm afraid of needles, so I'm not gonna get this thing stuck. I'm not gonna get this thing stuck in me. I just don't believe it's right, and so I'm gonna stand for this cause.
He doesn't believe it's right.
So I'm gonna stand for this cause at the expense of the team. And so now you won't have me for half the games of the regular season, and unless they lift this rule, you won't have me for any home games in the playoffs.
Which brings a it's an obvious question, but sir, how many home games has Kyrie played in 2 years? Or how many games has Kyrie played this year?
So I don't have it on top of my head, but I'm thinking it's in the 20s, if that.
How many home games has Kyrie Irving played
now?
This year?
How many home games he's played this year? The next one will be his first.
Okay. Now to the horrid case of one Ben Simmons. Why do I think Ben Simmons is tone deaf? First of all, I'm pissed at Ben Simmons because you don't mess around with mental health. That pissed me off more than anything else.
That's one problem right there.
If you had mental health issues, the first thing you would have felt was alone. Let me say that again. And this time, I'm going to put the right elements around it. Mr. Johnson?
Quote.
If you had mental health issues, Mr. Ben Simmons, the first thing you would have felt, besides the sting from the fans who were talking shit about you, was alone.
Close quote. Well, I can't find a lie on that, and that has been my stance the moment the words mental health came out of his mouth. I said, man, this is not a mental health thing, dude. It is not.
He wants to make it such.
He wants to make it such, but like, this is not a mental health issue with you, man. And I don't suffer from it, but I thankfully know somebody, my partner being one of them, who has fought the battle of mental health. And I'm like, no, you're scared of the moment. The streak down your back is yellow and Philly sees it. They call you for the punk that you've been and you don't like it. Because
Nope.
on June 20th, 2021, you were discovered to be a fraud of a basketball player, and you haven't run from it since. I mean, you haven't countered it since, and it's 9 months later. So now you not only have a mental health issue, but you also now have a messed up back.
Yeah. A messed up back that's the color yellow.
It's just,
Can I say that? Can I say that again? A messed up back that's the color yellow. Yellow bellied bastard.
So if people wanted to know why I said that the Harden for Simmons trade was swapping problems, what's the difference between the Simmons the Simmons we've seen as a 76er this year and the Simmons as a net this year? Please, anybody out there, even my partner included, tell me what's the difference.
I don't see any.
Has he set foot on the court outside of shoot around? I don't think so.
No. And Sick Diggy, I agree. I take exception. I especially take exception because I'm in the fight.
Yes.
I'm in the fight.
Yes, man. I do too.
I take exception on anyone who uses mental health problems as a cop-out, because that's all this is to Ben Simmons, a goddamn cop-out. It's a cop-out.
It's ridiculous.
Okay? Someone accused me of using mental health issues as a cop-out. And to the people who have accused me of using mental health issues as a cop-out, why don't you take your ass to the top floor of a hospital they deem the mental wing and spend 7 days in there away from the world and see how you feel?
You'll learn a
good
lot.
Bastards.
Yeah, you'll learn a lot. No question.
Because when I had to go through it, and believe me, I had to go through it, and there are some events that I've spoken about a lot on this program, very personal to me, that forced me to take a look at what's going on. And with men, mental health issues are suppressed by society. Why? Because they are told to man up so many times, and they push it down so many times that they get to the point where I got to in July of 2017, where you just simply explode. Listen, Ben Simmons, where's the explosion? If you have mental health issues, the first thing you would feel is alone. The second thing, you would get so pissed that you wouldn't care where you are, you would explode.
And you would probably seek help number 3 because you know something's wrong with you. And to your point, Sick, that is the exact reason why I looked at Ben Simmons and said, you're a fraud. You're a fraud because you were basically diminishing those who do have their battles with mental health.
Especially black men.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cool McCain. Especially black men.
You were insulting those who struggle with it, man. And that is not cool. Just basically say, I do not want to play in front of Philadelphians ever again because I am spooked and I am shook.
And he's still spooked.
Just say that and we'll be good. But don't give me this mental health crap because it was not a mental health issue he had.
And he's still spooked. Now, to Russell Westbrook.
Okay, let me start with this.
Go ahead, please.
All right. Sir, for you to take umbrage and say that you have pride in your last name and you dislike when fans chant your name in terms of a slight because they're actually acting like fans and they're not harming you, they're not saying stuff to your family, they're basically just commenting on the fact that you probably hit one of every, 6 or 7 threes that you attempt. Get off yourself. You're not that important, dude. I mean, should you have death threats in your family? Of course not.
No.
And that you should address, and that you should say, no, that's not right. But for you to say, well, people shouldn't chant Westbrook because that's an insult to my family's name. No, dude, it's not. It's commentary on your game on the court,
and not against your family. So if you don't want to be called Westbrook, fix your game.
Right. Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Fix your game. Shook is Simmons' mental disorder. I love it.
Remy. You're right, Remy. Wondered.
I love it.
And the fact that
it's nothing but truth.
It isn't. And the fact that Westbrook, when the Lakers put forth one of the most putrid performances, I will dare say, because they've been in LA for 60 plus years, I will dare say the most putrid performance since they've been in LA at home. When they lost by 28 to the Pelicans. And the crowd was like, no, this is not the Lakers we know, and we're going to let them know about it.
And they did.
You should not, in the post-game press conference, Mr. Westbrook, say, well, you know, they shouldn't boo us. And if you want to, they could take their A's home. No. You should say, you know something, our performance sucked, my performance sucked, we got to do better. You know what? The crowd was right to boo us because we were horrible. Ownership, accountability. Where are those qualities, sir? Use them.
Which brings me to one James Harden.
No, now if I start on him, we would go to about 8 the next morning.
I know. One great game. You know, I said it in a promo, and I will say it again. If I were Joel Embiid, I'd run like hell.
I love that, Remy.
If I were Joel Embiid, I'd run like hell. I'd run like hell. Because I know, look, Joel and James have had great games together. But, yeah, I question that. Matter of fact, I'll say it again. Joel and James have had great games together.
You for real?
No, I'm not for real. All I have to say about this one is wait until end of April, when their season collapses, when their postseason collapses.
Yeah, another 5 weeks, we'll see it. We'll see the real James Harden as we have had the last 10 years.
Which brings me to you know who. You know what? I'm not even going to touch you know who. I'll leave that for the bronze sexuals, and I'll save that for the first part of tomorrow.
Okay.
Because if I get started, the next segment will start late.
Sick as a trip.
And Mr. See, I love that.
I got no qualms about that at all.
Save the Lakers like she did the Knicks. I love that. Zach Wilson said after his Jets home debut that the fans deserve to boo them after a terrible performance. A rookie in the NFL has more humility than any of these players I've put forth.
Say that
Thank
again,
you, Ryan.
Say that again,
put it back
Ryan.
up.
Exactly. That is
the fans deserve to boo them after a terrible performance. A rookie in the NFL has more humility than Westbrook, than James, than Harden, than who else did I say? Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons. Exactly.
That is how you take accountability. I've taken accountability for this show many times, failing. Mm-hmm. And the one word I kept using was consistency. When I brought Cole aboard, I knew I'd have to be consistent, even given my health issues. And I've alerted Cole what's going on, and he knows what's going on, and the fans understand what's going on. And I appreciate y'all for that. But as far as Ben Simmons, LeBron James, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and I know I'm forgetting somebody. Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving.
As far as you guys go, you are
dead.
period. Period.
Perspective. Just
And
a matter
ours is not allowed in many circles.
No, of course not.
I really don't care.
Oh, and I do.
I stopped caring a long time ago.
Anymore, I have none of them to give.
Oh, then I'll say it for you. Both of us are about to turn 50 soon, and we've run out of fucks to give.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to have me some fun. Back in a minute.